You notice something different about our set?
I'm in the front.
You're in the front seat. You done got big, child. You done got tall enough to be able to be in the front seat with mommy.
Yep.
Okay, I just hit the button.
Or she's in there. She's waiting for you to get her.
Come on, hurry up.
Okay.
She's downstairs?
No, she's upstairs.
Hey, what's up? Good morning. It's June. Hey. Say hi to Offset. Hey, Offset.
Hello. Good morning to you too.
Okay, we're on our way to school. This is my little routine, my little daily routine. Take the munchkins to school.
Hey. This is a good morning.
Sorry about that, guys. The connection does that whenever I leave my area from Wi-Fi. But yeah, man, I was supposed to go.
I remember those days.
Which days?
Look.
I can't read it.
She spelled out. I remember those days.
Right. Taking the kids to school. Who is that? And I be on these. I'm a part of these little Facebook groups, and they just be constantly group chatting. I'm like, dude, do y'all go to bed?
Yeah.
It's the Hebrew Israelites group chat or whatever, honey. They be on that thing arguing all day, bro. I gotta figure out how to take it off because it just be calling. You know, Facebook join the call, and then I join it and I say something and I leave or whatever. Then they just keep calling and calling. I'm like, okay, enough. There is not that much Hebrew, the Bible talk in the world. They just sitting there talking, arguing about the Bible. I'm like, dude, who could sit there constantly talking? There's stuff that's going on in the world. You know what I'm saying? It's all this stuff going on in the world. Y'all want to still talk about the Bible and all sorts of, like, dude, I'm not trying to argue about that.
That was what you was talking about yesterday?
Yeah. Here, spray some of your little perfume on yourself. There you go. It'll be smelling good for school. You gotta hurry up and get out. You'll be 1 minute late. They're trying to rush off. She's like, hurry up. Yeah, hurry up, girl.
You're oh so very late. Have a good day.
All right, have a good day. Love you. And then we're gonna have to go pick up Aura. But see, Aura remember I used to be having to wait on her and she'd be all late every day, and Aura been getting up and going. I'm like, okay. She'd be up 30 minutes before the school starts. I said, okay, go ahead, Aura. She's a senior now, guys. My child, my oldest, she's a senior. Aura is. Ain't that crazy? She done became a senior. Man, you know what's so sad is that you don't realize that it becomes part of your life, like taking your kids to school and talking to them on the way there, picking them up, you know, and then to think that one day you probably won't be doing it's like kind of scary, right? Like there's gonna be one day where I don't have to take Aura to school, and you'd be like, man, I don't feel like taking the shoe. You start getting used to that, you know, the conversations and all that stuff like that, and like laughing. Okay, all right, you know, all that, you know, the whole like routine of it all, you know. She's a senior. This is the last year getting there. I'm about to cry. Well, I'm getting a little choked up talking about. Oh my God, where are these emotions that just hit me? I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God, I think I'm gonna be crying. Like, Aura's about to be an adult, you guys. My oldest. I just realized that. Man, I don't want them to grow up. I want them to stay kids. Man, man, that's crazy how you really feel like kind of sad about it. Like I really am. Like I swear to God, I'm like little tears are coming out my eyes right now. Oh my God, I done got myself all nostalgic and stuff. Jesus Christ. Ooh. But yeah, this is like the last year of picking up Aura from school, and now it's gonna be going to college. She's gonna be going to college. Thank God she's gonna be going locally. I don't want my kids to go nowhere. You know how everybody be like trying to get their kids about their house? I like my kids. I don't want my kids to stay until they, you know what I'm saying? No, you ain't gotta go nowhere. If you get married, you can go. But or if you get pregnant and have a no, even if you get pregnant, I'll help you. I don't want my kids just going out there and struggling and going through stuff, And maybe that's kind of not good that I'm like that. Like I'm like the hoovering helicopter mom. Like no, you don't. Look, I just now started letting Nasette go walk the dog outside. You know what I'm saying? She's 7. Like as far as like going outside and doing all that outside stuff, I'm like, no. You're good. Stay your ass in the house. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why I'm like this. I don't know why I'm this hoovering mom like that. Like, no, y'all play in the backyard. But people like, what? I remember when I used to be when I was a kid going, honey, be all across town somewhere. But then we become parents and we're like, no, just don't go past the front yard. Kid be 13. No. And let's see, now kids in the hood, they kind of let them gallivant and play and go all over. That's what, because when I said that lives kind of in some apartments in the hood, that parent let her kid just be walking around the apartment, and honey, I'd be scared to death. Because I'm even over here, it's just a nice neighborhood. You don't really see a lot of kids playing outside. There's something about I don't know, maybe the more like settled you get, like when you live in a house and stuff, the less, the more, I don't know what it, I don't see no kids outside playing around out here. I don't know. Okay, see you later. Peace, man. Talk to you later. We're gonna be doing a show on Sunday. I'm gonna be on a thing that I've got an interview with MJ, so I'm gonna let you guys know about that. And I'm gonna be doing a show later on today. I was supposed to do a show yesterday with Aura. I'm gonna start doing shows with my oldest daughter. That's gonna be really cool, So you guys get to see her. She's hilarious. Her personality is funny. Speaking of Aura, let me go in here and see where she's at. You know how that goes. I gotta go here, check her out, find out where she's at. Let's go. My AC still ain't fixed on my car. That's another thing. I was on this one panel on the Peace Network, and it was so funny how they're talking about relationships, and I get up there and I start saying my thing. The first thing the guy says is, well, hell, you look like you're overweight. And this, that, and the other. And I was like, okay, well, damn. You're just going to jump right, you're going to just go right there with it, ain't you? You're overweight. And I'm thinking to myself, do y'all think that y'all gonna be skinny the rest of like? Do you think that people just don't change and everybody just be perfect? And the only way that people could be in relationships is if they look perfect, got the perfect body, perfect smile, are the perfect weight. It's all type of different people out here in this world, and there's somebody for everybody, And there's some people that's not for nobody, but to put somebody down because of their weight is stupid and childish. It's like once you get to a certain age group, weight and all that stuff, y'all need to just cut that out. And then here's the thing: to make the assumption that weight is because I've gained a lot of weight because I'm eating a lot of food or anything. Nah. If I show you my pregnancy pictures, I got huge. You hear me? And I'm on all these blood pressure. I retain a lot of water. I have to take these water pills. because sometimes my ankles and everything, like even in my face, you can tell when I'm not taking my water pills because my face will get real, like, I hold it in my face. My face will get real big, and my chin and everything. And so I have to take like all these water pills to like kind of just get the water off my body, you know? Because like my kidneys are not. And half of it's because of drinking over time, drinking a lot of alcohol and messing up my damn kidneys and stuff. Aura! It sounds like you're up there having a blast, but it's time to go. Come on, let's go, Aura. She's up there laughing and carrying on. But yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much what it is. It ain't like I'm over here just shoveling food down my throat. People always think that because you might have an overweight, it came over time, over time, stress, What another thing that people don't realize is that when you go through a lot of trauma, your body begins to pad itself. It begins to pack on fat to protect itself. When you go through physical trauma and mental trauma and like things like that, so it's hard to lose weight when you've been through. And then I'm also going through menopause too, or perimenopause. Child, try to. If guys went through half the things women would, I think they would shut up. All the things that we have to go through hormonally and everything. Having babies, the baby died. Then you have to go through depression. Even after you have a baby, you go through postpartum. There's all kind of different things that happen that can lead to a lot of different things, health situations that make you not, depression can kick in. There's so many different things. See, they keep getting these messages on their Facebook app. How you feeling? Oh, okay. That's good. All right. Head out. Thing. But yeah, I don't know. When you get on those panels, those red pill panels, they all seem to be just repeating, parroting the same bullshit over and over again, And then you have different levels of it. You have like the older red pill panels. You got the younger ones. And then you have the women that get up there. You got some women over here that are kind of like agreeing with them. It's just a typical thing, And I don't really see where it solves any damn thing. It's not solving nothing. Those panels don't solve nothing when it comes to relationships. And then bunch of people, whoever's like listening to that shit, it's like, dude, is this helping you in any way? Like, I mean, does it make your relationship better? If you're married and you get on a panel and you're talking about how bad women are, does that, like, when you go back to your actual spouse, like, what is the conversation like? Man, these women this, that, women this and women that. So then when you get back to your woman, like, what are you going to tell her? After you just basically made a blanket statement, no, baby, you're not like them. You're not like the rest of those women. Like, and if she's not if these people have wives and have girlfriends and have whatever, in relationships, but getting on panels talking bad about women, what is it about the woman that you're with is different? And then why doesn't that prove that what you're saying about women is not true? Oh, is she a different colored woman? Is she like an Asian woman, a Latino woman, and you're talking about black women mostly? Is that what it is? Are these panels really like subliminally talking about black women and trying to just say it's just women in general, but really they're laser focused on black women because they're married a white or a Japanese, whatever woman. And so they get on the panel to talk bad about black women. So that's why their women don't mind that they're talking about women. Maybe that's it. Because I don't understand how any woman could sit and listen to a dude get on a panel and talk about women so badly. I mean, if I had a boyfriend or a husband and I'm in a room and I'm listening to him, I'm in the other room and I'm hearing him just badmouth women, I'm going to be like, dude, bro, what are you talking about? Because, I'm nosy, You not fixing to be around me and be the ear hustle. I'm ear hustling all the conversations. So. I'm nosy as hell. Let me get up out this garage with this car on before I like get carbon monoxide poisoning. Okay, you know what I'm saying? I got the car running. I'm in the garage. I'm gonna pull backwards. Here's another thing. I want to also talk about. I'm gonna do a show about this, but and I'm gonna like break it down. But I want to do a show about energy siphoning. Like, let me tell you something. A lot of times when you're with these men, okay, and you perform acts with them, you're doing it, you're oral, you're whatever you're doing, right? And you feel a tug. Like, say y'all break up or y'all ain't together. Maybe he ghosts you. He does like the whole, like, they call it the push and pull method, right? Where they be all up in your face and they just like kind of go radio silent or whatever. But then you, for some reason, that whole time you're thinking about that person, right? That is what they call a cord, okay? I'm going to do a show about how to break cords. I'm going to start doing shows about energy and not magic, but energy, and how to deal when somebody has manipulated your energy. You know what I'm saying? Because I get spiritually attacked constantly, because a lot of people just love to hate me, so I get attacked a lot. And I know when I'm going through an attack, because it all has the same symptoms, like the whole spiritual attack and the whole lack of sleep and all this other stuff. And the thing is, people don't have to be putting like hexes on you or knowing how to do magic to attack you spiritually. People could just like be looking at your picture and be thinking negatively and have like a negative, or talking about you negatively, and that stuff. This whole world is made of vibration. Everything around you is vibrating. That's the reason why you see it. Level to where it's solid. It's it's a gas. Isn't it based on vibration?
Yeah, we're all just like little dots. If you like zoom in, like people have telescopes, you can like zoom in. We're all just like dots.
Say hello, or
hello.
Right, so we're all dots, right? We're all little, just speckles of something that's all coming together.
Yeah, and it looks all weird, like metal. It has like a metallic kind of look to it.
You've actually seen it?
Yeah.
Really? What website did you go to see that?
I just like found it on a random YouTube video.
They zoomed all the way into a person and was able to just see what the basic thing of it is.
Oh, I think they zoomed into like metal or something, and it was just like a bunch of like speckled dots and stuff.
Right. So we are all we are. And what is it? Was it vibrating at a certain level, or like just moving, or was it just like still?
It was like still.
Really?
Yeah.
But it's not. But everything has a vibration. Everything has a sound. Even us as humans have our own, even like our voice. Think about our voice when we speak and what that is. You know what I'm saying? Think about even a car, right? When it's idling, it's making a sound. Cars driving on streets, think about how it sounds. There's a sound to it. Like you can hear the cars going by. It sounds like the ocean sometimes. That's what I call it.
Yeah, vibration is electricity or something.
Yeah, vibration is also electricity. So all this stuff vibrating affects each other, right? So if a person is looking at your picture or they're vibrating, saying certain things, all these things, that's what they say, watch what you say. Watch what you say about yourself. And thoughts becomes words, so you have to be careful what you're thinking so that you don't say the wrong words that sends out the vibration of negativity, So that's why it's important not to gossip and talk bad about each other, to talk bad about one another. A gossip is a bad thing because you're sending out energy. And see, a lot of the time, the thing is that energy, it goes like, okay, it comes back to you, So if I'm talking bad about this person, it hits them energetically, but then it also reverberates back to me. It's almost like if you throw like a rock in some water, and I'm here, the vibration goes out in a circle, but it eventually comes back to where I was at when I threw the rock. You understand what I'm saying? If you actually think of a rock, it can hit its target, but then it still vibrates out. You know, if you notice that, you know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying, Aura? So you have to be careful what are you vibrating? What are you throwing out there? What are you putting out there? And what level? You know, and that's why these panels about this red pill stuff. It's a certain level of a negative vibration to that. It's very low vibrational. If you want to think of things in a high frequency, then you have to talk on a high frequency, you know? And see, I muddled around in the low vibrational for a long time because I think it was necessary, you know? Because I was vibrating low. When you're vibrating low, that's the frequency that you're on, and you attract that, and that's what you're attracted to. But the more higher up that you go in frequency, those things, you can't even watch that stuff, you know? It was one time where I could gobble up that whole Jaguar right content, that whole beef sector, people, all that. Oh, honey, I was in it. I was in the middle of it. I was a part of it. People were, you know, I was one in it, you know? People like be talking crap about me on Station Head and coffee and this, that, the other. It just got terrible, you know. And I got depressed. It was a mess, you know. But I realized that, you know, that's a very, very low frequency, you know. That gossipy, you know, it's hard for me to watch gossip stuff now because I've went up in vibration, you know. Like, it's hard for me to sit there and watch. So you can tell what vibration you're on by the things, when you get your algorithm, by what you can actually sit through, you know? And if you ever notice, schizophrenic, it's hard for them, or people with mental illness, it's hard for them to sit through anything. It's hard for them to watch stuff. You know, like to sit through, when you start going through depression or mental, it's hard to focus on long-term, like listening to stuff that's positive or whatever. And so I've been really into like this hypnosis thing, like trying to hypnotize myself and see what a lot of times when you get spiritually attacked and you start noticing things start to malfunction around you. Like for a while my water was off, like the hot water was off, and this, that, the other. And see, that's what I use to be able to diffuse and to get my mind right, you know. And so I could tell when I was being attacked because, you know, those things, you know, those things started to get turned off or whatever, you know. It's, you have to, like, everything that happens is there's a reason behind it, you know. People just think that things just happen by chance. It's like, no, there's an energy. Like when you notice that, oh, okay, my water is off. Okay, that means that water, that means that's money. That all that stuff is connected, you know. Money is connected to water. That's the flow. That's the flow that's going on, right? So when you notice those things are being cut off, you gotta like do some searching. Okay, what is going on with me mentally to figure out like what's you know, why these things are happening. And look, I'm not worried about the numbers here because I get replay. That's why.
I'm just looking at the chat.
Oh, that chat, yeah. I'm not sure if that's somebody new chatting or what. But yeah, money. So when you notice your water gets cut off, or you know, different utilities, air, gas, you know, stuff like that, electric, all those things are really connected to you as well. You know, so you have to actually do some inventory on, okay, why is this getting cut off? You know, where am I? What am I neglecting mentally as well? You know, because a lot of times we put things off, right? Put stuff off, so you have to like kind of like regroup and get your mind right. Because I've noticed, like, I have had a hard time falling asleep. I've had a hard time going to sleep. I've been waking up tired, you know. Well, mainly because it's raining today. For some reason, when it rains, I get so drained. And there's a reason why, I think why, like, priests are not supposed to let rain hit their head. I'm not sure. I gotta find out why that is, but. And then I think it was interesting because in the Wizard of Oz, the witch, she couldn't let the rain, the rain hit her. Like it was about, she was like, I'm melting. Was it the rain or the water? I wonder what there's something to water and how that, like, I guess the wrong kind of water. I don't know, but yeah, we're not supposed to allow rain to hit our head when you get initiated, or like, and when you first get initiated, you're not supposed to like go out at 12 o'clock in the middle, like during high noon, because the sun and like can drain your energy, and so can like rain. Isn't that interesting? It could give you energy, but during certain times it could drain your energy. So you gotta be very careful. Look at him. He's trying to be cute today. He got his whole outfit on. He ain't got his reflecting thing on today. I don't even know why they have that security guard there.
Right,
like we don't know how to drop our kids off or something. We've been doing it. It didn't have no. Now all of a sudden they gotta put somebody. They didn't hire someone.
Probably someone had an incident, like only one person.
Yeah, I heard there was a fight at your school the other day.
Oh yeah, it wasn't the class I was in. I think. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, stay away from that. Don't be around nobody fighting. Have a good day.
It was
Love
over
you.
a chair too.
It was over a chair.
Yeah.
Wow. People fighting over a chair. That's crazy. Yeah, this is what I miss dropping my kid off school, talking, imparting wisdom in the morning. Sometimes like telling her about herself, like, hey, don't do this, don't, because when I grew up, my mom wasn't there, because she died or whatever. They're like, well, your mom didn't teach you nothing. So I really take a lot of time to like tell them stuff, because I know that when I was a kid, it was like, your mom didn't teach you this, and your mom didn't teach you that. And so now I like am extra like, okay, dude, make sure you do this, because I don't want nobody. But then but they are not going through that's what's crazy. Like, Aura in her afro, like she still wears her afro. And I used to get on her like, no, you gotta make sure your hair looks this, that, this afro, you gotta like get your hair. They're gonna make fun of you. And in my mind, there was this whole thing that was gonna happen. She's gonna get made fun of because she got this afro. Honey, ain't nobody making fun of her. Nobody made fun of her. This shit was in my mind. I'm over here with my thoughts, putting it into her head that somebody gonna make fun of her because she got an afro. Nobody's making fun of her because she's got the afro. But it's so crazy how like you get like all the crap that you go through, getting bullied or whatever in school or whatever you went through. You start to impart this bullshit onto your children. Like, you better watch out. They're gonna make fun of you. You better not do this, that, the other. They're gonna do this, and the kids are gonna, because when I grew up, kids were brutal, honey. If you didn't have the right shoes on, honey, don't go to school with no shoes. They ain't got no name brand on it. You wearing Bobos. They cost $1.99. They had songs about it and all type of stuff. You better have on the latest jeans that they got, whatever the style is, the used jeans back in the day. You better have the style, honey. Cross-colored. Carl Kanai. You ain't had no Carl Kanai cross-colored. What was the other stuff? Damaged jeans. And it's crazy because all this stuff they came back now, right? But they just, I don't, the ripped up jeans, the stuff just cycles over and over again. But if you don't have that stuff on, British Knights, shoes, back then, they had the Elise's shoes. You had to have the name brand shoes, or you was gonna get made fun of. And I'm over here like telling my child, like, you better listen. We gotta get you. Make sure you're looking. You got the certain look to you. Make sure that afro. We gotta put your hair in a ponytail. Honey, she said the people she was putting her hair in a ponytail, they was like, why you got your hair in that ponytail? Honey, I'm over here up there putting my trauma onto my children. You know what I'm saying? And so, anyways, I had to kind of learn and just let her be herself. I had to like kind of give her space and stop being all traumatized to my kids and traumatizing them, because I was traumatized by my own upbringing, growing up in New Jersey and stuff like that. Because New Jersey and all that, man, it was nothing but you had to have this and do this. And I was raised in like the middle class, like over there by Silver Spring. Once I left New Jersey, we moved to like Silver Spring, Maryland. And, that's like a middle class area. I'm not sure how it is now, but back then it was like a middle class. And it was all about style and who was looking a certain way and what kind of shoes you had on and this, that, the other. So, and like I said, they had the song Bobos. They make your feet feel fine. Bobos. They cost $1.99 or whatever, And that's those little tennis shoes that they used to wear. That now, if somebody had them tennis shoes on, nobody would care. People buying stuff off Temu and everything. Cost $3. You know what I'm saying? If it's cute, that's it. Sheen and stuff. Sheen. But honey, back then you had to buy them $80. And I remember I stole some. I went to the store and stole some used jeans, y'all. And honey, I wore them goddamn jeans every much as I could. And I remember one time, I was trying to hang out with the little in girls, like the pom girls. I was trying to be a pom girl back in the day, When I used to be thin and cute. But they was like, I don't know why she's trying to be this. First of all, there's this girl that was like a pom girl, but she was not cute herself. I don't know why she was trying to talk shit about me, because she was funny looking. She was not cute, but she was fast. And I remember, like, I was trying to hang out. She was like, I don't know why Monica trying to hang out with us. She's still wearing them. She thought she cute because she had that pair of used jeans that she wear all the time. That I stole from the fucking store. Honey, I wore them damn jeans. And then one time, I remember in middle school, we went to, I was in Maryland, we went down to U Street in Washington, D.C., and we got drunk as fuck, guys. And we skipped school, and we was around these little badass boys. This girl named Dee Dee said, hey, let's go out. She was in high school, but she came and got us. And honey, we went down to this spot down here on U Street. There was like these little apartments. And I met this cute little boy named Adrian. He had little hazel eyes. He was so cute. I don't know what happened to Adrian. He ended up being like a bum, But he was so cute, guys. And that was my first little kiss and everything. And honey, we got drunk as hell. They had to call the ambulance and everything. We were out there wilding. That was when Cisco had came out. And there was this alcohol called Cisco that it tasted like with like fruits and stuff. And I had never had, like, I was like 13. I had never had nothing like that. And honey, I was peeing on myself. I got my period and stuff. It was a mess. We were out there fighting people, cussing people out. They had to call the ambulance. The whole apartment complex. By the time that whole thing was through, they had a song. They're the Cisco kids. 10 years in strong and growing. They were actually singing a song about us. Our parents had to come to the hospital and come pick us up. This is how, man, child. Like I say, when I say I had a crazy life, shit like that. Like, I'm just wild shit. I have had a wild ass life. That's why when people ask me about stuff and I tell them, they be like, what? God damn. Like, yeah. Like, yep, I'm still here. I'm still alive. Because this time when I'm like, I shouldn't have even been up this bitch. I should have checked out, bro. Because I was doing all kind of wild shit. You hear me? When I was in the military, we would go to these rave parties and be high. One time I ran into my master sergeant in Philadelphia while I'm rolling on ecstasy pills. And walked up to her and was talking to her. You know she know I was fucking high. Come on now. Because there's no way you could not be high acting. We had pacifiers in our mouth. We dressed up like kids. Because the rave scene back then, you had to dressed up like children. We had like all this colorful bullshit on, ponytails and stuff. Midriff with the Jenkos, them big old Jenko pants, and then have like candy around our necks. All like the crazy colorful like bracelets and shit and glitter, just looking like a damn freak show. I'm like, oh my god, what in the hell? But it was fun though, guys. It was was I on ecstasy? They took the pill on the way to Philadelphia. We were in Washington D.C. They took the pill on the way to Philadelphia. Fucking, I wasn't high, but my friend Alicia and Joseph was. So then, the car, when you're high on ecstasy, you can feel the vibrations of everything. You feel the, so the pill started kicking in for Joe, and he's feeling like these waves of the car, like the vibrations of the car. And he's like, oh, oh, and then his girlfriend was like, I guess her thing started kicking in, and she started to like see him a certain way. So it was almost like she was having a mental trip. He was having a body like, oh yeah, and she was looking at him like, stop, Joseph, stop. And she started to cry and trip. We had to stop the car. We had to like bring her to the side and kind of console her. She started crying. She said he looked like the Joker. So I guess she started to see, she started to hallucinate. We had to stop the car, y'all. And then while that is happening, and I'm trying to calm that, I'm like, telling her like, go look at some other shit or something. I was like, go look at some other things that are going on around here. Stop looking at Joseph. Go look at all these things happening around here. I remember saying that. I said, why do you keep looking at Joseph? Go look at all this stuff going on. Look at everything else. Don't look at that. And then I put her hair into a ponytail in her head because I said she's acting like a baby and put a pacifier in her mouth. And she actually was up there like sucking on the pacifier with a fucking ponytail. So you're acting like a baby. And so I put her hair into a ponytail and gave her a pacifier. So there you go, because you're acting like a big old baby. And she sat there sucking on the pacifier with like a ponytail, like this on her head. And then my master sergeant comes walking. Monica? Airman Lockett? Is that you? And all this shit is going on. People got pacifiers, they're dressed weird. And I'm like, oh, hey, hi, Master Sergeant. How you doing? Oh, my God. Like, oh, okay, well, have a good time. Honey, she probably went back like, what the hell? Probably called the damn command like, man, I think that Airman Lockett is hanging around some choice group of people, okay? So, anyways, I just wanted to get up on here. Rags. Hold on, let me see, because I can't see. I can't see. Y'all know my asses. I did it too, the women from Silver Springs. Oh, okay. I wore shoes with my big toe hanging out. Ragu sauce with alcohol. Okay. Well, okay. Yeah, I mean, you know what? I don't think that Aura does either, But, the way I grew up, you had to care because they would, the students in school where I was at, you better, because they are going to gang up. I remember when they would try to make us fight, and then they'd make you hit one person, hit their hand, and they hit the other person, and then they make you like. I got into so many fights back, because people just wanted to fight me for some reason. They always wanted to fight me. And I wasn't even a bad kid, but they wanted to prove, I don't know what, something about me. made them okay. I want to fight her, and I would beat they motherfucking ass, honey. Out and it wasn't no rules. You couldn't tell me. Listen, well, okay, this because the boys would always try to control how the fight went. Oh no, these are going to be the rules of the fight, and I was like, man, fuck a rule. The moment we start fighting, all rules are off the table. You know what I'm saying, honey? I bite, I pull hair, I pick up shit, I hit you with it. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? And you can't tell me there's gonna be some rules about anything. I don't give a god. I know you want to fight me. You gonna well, let's go. It's gonna be a fight to the death in elementary school. I'm picking shit up. I'm gonna hit you with it. You're gonna get everything. That's why I didn't get into too many fights. Once I fought a few people, motherfuckers left my ass alone because they just realized that I'm not wrapped too tight. And then at a certain point, I started becoming aggressive. Like, okay, now that I whooped your ass, now I'm gonna be aggressive and be more bullying of you. You know what I'm saying? Because I was nice and stuff, and now you done forced me to fight you. Now I'm going to be a complete bitch, and I'm going to now become the aggressor. That was kind of like how it happened when I was a kid. But then I became more docile as time went on. My mom was like, I don't understand why you're so, you used to not put up with a whole bunch of shit. So I don't know whether it's because of trauma in my life, it made me more docile and more whatever. And so now I'm kind of getting back to, it's almost like life kind of made me have to go through a hard time in order so I could be tough again. Cause I think I was being too goddamn kind to people and nice. So I had to like go through a lot of like bullshit so I could become a bitch once again. And so people do not keep fucking with me. Cause now it's like, I don't put up with a whole bunch of bullshit, and it don't. At first, it would take me a long time to get angry, slow to anger. You know what I'm saying? But now, my temper goes off very quickly, and I'll be ready to fight somebody very fast. So, and I'm not sure whether that's actually because of getting older. When you get older, I thought you're supposed to get more calmer when you get older, but I don't know. The older I'm getting, the more irritated I'm getting, and the more I'm like cussing people out. I did not want to be that old lady that's cussing everybody out, but I think I'm going to be that person. Even like how Tommy Sotomayor be ranting and raging, sound like some old grandpa on the corner. Get off my lawn. That's what he sounds like when he's on these panels. Get off my lawn now, y'all niggas. He sounds like a Boondocks character. You know what I'm saying? That's natural, right? You start becoming like, man, fuck all this. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Start becoming irritable. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think the older you get, the more irritated you become. Like, what? Anyways. Really? Okay, I thought that the older you get, the more patient you become. Okay, so no, the older you get, the less bullshit. Okay. So I think that's what's happening. The more I'm like, okay, you know what? No. I had to tell this guy the other day that I was talking to. I'm like, dude, bro, all this like being out in the streets, you want to come over to my house and just be out in the streets and do all this bullshit. I need to stop fucking calling me about this damn group chat. God damn. This group chat. But yeah, all this you know what I'm saying, wanting to go out, be hanging out in the streets and come back over. No, I don't I don't like all that smoke, smelling like weed and shit like that all the time. Cause all that, I'm not in all that. You want to go out there and be hanging out in the streets and doing all, okay, fine. We'll just be out in the streets then. I'm not over at the apartment buildings hanging out with people in the streets. So you need to find a chick that's doing that. Don't come over my house and then leave my house and be wanting to be out in the streets at the apartment. Then that sounds like you still trying to be in that world, be in that world. Don't come bring that bullshit over to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be around apartments. I would have been in an apartment if I wanted to be in an apartment. Not to sound like I'm above apartments, but I'm just like, it's a certain lifestyle. People hanging out in apartments, jumping in cars, smoking weed. Hey, what's up, man? All that bullshit. No, I'm not. No, just hanging out for no reason, going from apartment to apartment. That shit is. Even when I was in the apartment, when I was living in apartments, I was trying to get the fuck up out of apartments. So, look, the moment I was in apartment, I was like, no, I need to get the hell up out of here. People too nosy in apartments. everything, all your business. You can't, you know what I'm saying? If you're doing something, you got something, you got to worry about people wanting to rob you, people watching you and stuff, what you got in your house and stuff. I could not wait to get out of apartments, townhouses, all that shit where it's people can see what you got. Even how some of these neighborhoods is laid out where people got their front door and garage and everything all in the front where everybody can see everybody coming and going. I don't like that shit. I want my garage in the back, pull up in the back. Everybody mind your goddamn business. Don't leave me the fuck alone. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you knowing when I'm coming, going. As a matter of fact, when you cut your lawn, don't even go past my property line. Cut your lawn and leave my lawn alone. You know what I'm saying? Leave me alone. It's a thing when you get to a certain level, you do not want to be full of. Because let me tell you something. I lived in an apartment, honey. My neighbor they was on drugs. They was on crack. They would get high and get to fighting. The way my apartment was, it was facing their door. So I had a window here, they had a window here. They get to fighting. My daughter's room is right here. He's slamming, bashing her head up against my daughter's bedroom window. And the bitch ain't never leave the guy. You know what I'm saying? They end up getting married. But the shit's like, okay. But y'all traumatizing us with y'all bullshit, screaming and high and fighting. They are funny. My daughter's eyes big or like, Mom, what's going on? They're, I had to take. Oh no, it's okay. They're just apartment stuff. This is ghetto apartment bullshit. You know, People saw I had I had like my little computer set up. Came and broke in my house and robbed my house, my little apartment, because the way that I mean, hell, the shit's just stupid. I do not ever want to live in an apartment. I'm sorry. I don't. No. I manifested I never have to go back to that. Oh, I never sat down and listened to a person tell you about the first time they smoked crack. I've never actually got that deep with it. You know what I'm saying? The most I did was say, "Hey, help straighten up, clean up my house. I'll give you a couple dollars." And the thing is that they're. Let me tell you something. When you hire a person that's on drugs to clean your house, they can only get so far with it because their mind is so focused on getting that high that they can only get so much done before they start to asking you for the money. They get a little bit done. They're like, okay. I just need. Can I just go? I just gotta go take care of something or whatever. Can you just give me half of it right now so I can just go? I gotta go get something to eat. I'm hungry. And honey, don't never come back. They'll go out and be gone off that little $20, something like that. You know what I'm saying? That shit, man. I do not miss living in apartments. Okay, I don't. Anyways, guys, I'm in my garage. I'm done talking. Listen, you used to hang around crackheads when you were home. I've been homeless. I didn't really hang around the crackheads. I hanged around more of the artsy homeless people. But and a lot of them just had mental illness. You know what I'm saying? They had like some level of mental illness. This one dude, his name was Blind, and he would fight so much that he was going blind because he had so many fights and people punching him in his face and whatever that it was inevitable that his retina was going to detach and he was going to be completely blind. There was just like nothing that could stop it. And he actually was a nice guy, but he was crazy as hell. Yep. And he like was kind of like he had like the higher in the apartment, the place where all the homeless, the above the flower shop. He was like the the head guy in that little area, little group. DC had a lot of homeless going on. It's very easy to become homeless in DC. It's very easy because I had a job and everything and was still homeless. I was making like what, $15 an hour working at Kinko's, and was still homeless. Sometimes I could get like jobs being a temp, making like $22 an hour, $24 an hour, and was still homeless. So yeah, DC is really easy to still be home. It's almost like even like California. Like you could be making $100,000 a year and still be homeless in California, living out of a whatever. Certain cities are like that. Exactly. Yes. When I lived in Hawaii, most of the homeless were employed. Yeah. So that's why I think it's fucked up how Trump is up there like, well, we need to get rid of their encampments and this, that, the other. Well, no, some people are homeless because they can't afford a hotel. Some people are homeless because they have bad credit, because there's a whole thing, that the whole rabbit hole you go down, that once you get evicted, then it gets on your record, then you can't get an apartment, and then you have to do the second chance, and then the second chance you got to pay more to move in, and it's a little extra to like, it's hard to just get that money. You got to have like double first month, last month, and security deposit, and a partridge in a pear tree to get apartment. So the broker you are, the more expensive it is. The more struggle. It's almost like it just piles up on you. You know what I'm saying? But when you actually get in a better position, it's easier to maintain. It's really crazy. Like once you like if you own your home, it's harder for them to kick you out the house. You have to go through a foreclosure. But before that, you have loss mitigation. You could do a loan modification. There's all these things that set up to try to like stop you. And then the foreclosure takes time. So when you own your place, then you don't have to worry about it as much. But then, okay, the next step is renting a house. Okay, it takes up to 3 months to evict somebody sometimes. If you really push it, you can make it last about 6 months. But a foreclosure could to last years. Um, Eviction. Okay, the next step up is that you get an apartment. Second chance. You live in an apartment, second chance. They want first month's, last month's. You know. Then the next one is all bills paid. Right. That's where it's probably furnished. You're paying by the week. Kind of budget suites or whatever. And then after that, and then they could just kick you out anytime with that. You know what I'm saying? Then the next step is the real janky hotels where it's like, you know what I'm saying, you could pay by the week, but it's real jacked up. You know what I'm saying? And it just go. Then that next thing is the shelter, and then you get kicked out the shelter, and then now you're in a tent. And so that's like a whole progression. And to think that a person probably went through that progression to end up where they are, by that time they're probably very depressed, and they just say, you know what, like all that other is just too much to maintain. So they figure out, okay, it's easier for me to just like stay in my tent and go to work and come back and take my shower at wherever and then go to work. You know what I'm saying? Go to the Planet Fitness or whatever. Go take a shower. You know, whatever, and then take my ass to work. And I ain't got to worry about rent. I ain't got to worry about this. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like what I think happens to people. They just say, they get tired of the whole rat race of trying to keep things up. And I think sometimes those people could be more free than we are. Like constantly like rushing, trying to be in this rat race to pay all these goddamn bills. So it's like I don't really judge homeless people because I've been there before. You know, I've been there before. So, oh yeah, there's also the car. I forgot that if you have a car, you can stay in the car. That's one level before shelter. But then if you lose the car or it gets impounded, they like take it from you because you parked in the wrong place or slept in the wrong spot. Then that's where you end up in the shelter. You know. That's why I always tell people, like, another thing is, that's why I always say people don't smoke weed in your car. Yeah, I've been there before, so I completely understand that there's levels to it. And for me to even get to the point of being a homeowner, you know what I'm saying? I've been at every level. I've been at every single. I've lived in my car. I've been in a shelter. I've lived every single level of homelessness up to apartment. You know, so and I've experienced the people along the way of all those different things. And some of them have drug problems, some of them have mental problems. A lot of divorced men end up in that situation, you know. They end up losing it all, you know. And then the thing about losing it all, losing a lot, like if you work towards a lot of stuff and then you lose it, it's very hard to like get the because a lot of energy goes into when you create something. Like when you put some things together, even with the whole thing with Shaka, when I was doing the Zulu vision and all that stuff, a lot of energy went into that, you know? And as much as people like did not appreciate the effort that I did, even to get Charleston White, all the money I put into that, the tax businesses, all those things, a lot of that was my energy. That was my money that I put into it. And then for all that stuff, and then for people to come and steal the things, steal all of my equipment and everything, all that's my energy. So it's almost like they just stole all my energy, bro. So and imagine that took like a whole year to even compile all that stuff to put it together to even come to that point. And that's a lot of time and energy put into for it to turn into nothing. So it took a long time for me to recover from that, you know, mentally. And then that's another reason why I had to learn not to have people in my space because people don't. A lot of time, people will ask to stay with you, but they don't understand what it took for you to even get to the point where you can even have a place to stay. So they'll take it for granted. You know, it's like, oh, she's good. She got blah blah blah. And so then they start to feel. Then they get this resentment, and they start to talk shit about you. And then it's like, bro, do you understand what it took for me to even get to this point? You think it's just came that just came? I just have a spoon sticking out my a silver spoon in my mouth. That you understand? It took me we're busting my ass and working hard, and really working my credit, like pushing to even get to the point where I'm at this point right now. And then people will be struggling and ask to come stay with you, and then resent you and be acting like you owe them something. Like, no, bitch, I don't owe you anything. It took me hella long time to get to this point to where I'm able to even be stable. And here you fucking come telling me you don't have the money to pay. No, I don't think so. You don't have no money to pay. You don't need to. Good luck. Go to a shelter. I had to go to one, and I had to learn that. I had to learn to because I at one point I had this like martyr complex where I was like, well, I want to help the homeless because I've been homeless, and some motherfuckers need to just be homeless. Because they are ungrateful. There's a certain level that certain people that are homeless because they have to learn a certain lesson. So you can't jump in the middle of that lesson because God will give you their karma. And I had to get a lot of karma off of people that I've tried to help for no reason because of me trying to step in and trying to help. You have to like sometimes back away and let them go through whatever they're gonna go through. That's another thing I had to learn. You can't jump in the middle of people karma. You can't jump in the middle of people issues, whatever they got going on. Let them go through whatever, and hey. Another thing I learned is like not to expect somebody asks you for money, don't expect nothing back from them.